Dire team ban.
Now an Enigma ban. This is an interesting one. We've not seen much Enigma. We did see a game with a couple of jungle heroes. We saw the Shen come out in one game.
10 seconds
But no Enigma
remaining.
as of yet. Won't be seen in this game
5
either now.
seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Spectre banned and Windrunner
Radiant
picked up.
team
This
pick.
is surely going to be all three cores now. This, I guess, is going to end up being a safe lane Ember, a mid lane Windranger, and an off lane Slardar are probably going to be dual lanes with those. Lich is still in the field for a strong pairing in a dual lane. Now, unfortunately, since they already have their two supports,
10 seconds.
it's going to be hard to block pick anything that Lancaster might want.
5 seconds remaining.
Going to start eating into reserve time. This third pick, they end up picking up the Necro. Now this
Dire
is...
team pick.
We don't see much Necrophos right now. In the pub scene it tends to be run mid lane, but last time we saw it often in the pro scene it was a safe lane Necrophos. Now a safe lane Necrophos would free up at least one of the two supports to roam around the map and try and deal with these other big cores. Set their own
10
laners from
seconds
ganks.
remaining.
Mostly self-sufficient once there's a couple of points in
5
Sadist.
seconds remaining.
Now, as for what supports are left in the field, Bane's still available, a good defensive support. There is the possibility of the Cold Embrace on anybody that's been Fiend's gripped to try and prevent some of the burst damage for the duration. Other supports, there's the Lion, seen here and there. Lancaster will pick up the Shadow Demon for this game. Now I think last time I saw Lancaster play, they did play the Shadow Demon support. Worked very well for him, wandering around in the early game, getting things done. They do have 3 laners here, all of which can
5 seconds remaining.
help with the ganks, not really any passive laning heroes. Power Shot on the Shackle, the Searing Chains,
Reserve time.
and the Sprint into the Slithering Crush.
Dire team ban.
Tiny 4th pick from Cambridge. Lancaster have the chance to ban the IO here if they want to do that, but it's probably going to be a Tiny without the Wisp.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
they're going to have to think about what the last core is going to be.
5 seconds remaining.
There is the chance of the Ancient Apparition being
Reserve
run mid,
time.
but that's not going to do very well against the Windrunner. Now the Tiny, a confident pickup here. The Shackle Shot and the Focus Fire are a fast way to deal with a Tiny that has low armor until he gets his AC. A lot of physical damage. Now they banned the Batrider.
Radiant team ban.
Somewhat lacking on control for the side of Cambridge, so that would have been a possibility. They are probably going to have to find that in another hero. They don't have the Enigma, they don't have the Dark Tier, they don't have the
10
Doom, they don't have the
seconds
Batrider.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
50 seconds of reserve time here for the last ban. They'll take out the Lina.
Dire team
That still leaves the Marana in the pool. If Lancaster want to take Shadow Demon into Marana. Catch any hero on the map with that, and that's probably going to be a death. Tiny, no escape mechanism. Winter Wyvern, a small heal from the Cold Embrace. AA, Necrophos, nothing they can do about it.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ten seconds of reserve time left.
Remaining.
Just the last support they'll be looking for here. The Marana is still available.
5 seconds remaining.
Lion.
They'll take the Lion instead.
Radiant team pick.
Does leave them with a little bit more damage and control. Only the one stun available from the Marana when it comes to it. I feel like the Moonlight Shadow might have been a pretty decent tool to set up some shackles this game, but Lion does get picked up. Does have the Finger of Death to burst through the Cold Embrace and to try and burst down the Necro before he heals up from the Sadist or the Death Pulse.
5 seconds remaining.
Also a strong combo with the Soul Catcher or the nuke damage from the Lion.
Reserve time.
Soul Catcher and Amplify damage is going to lead to some dead heroes very quickly. If Lancaster get the start that they want in these fights. "20 seconds left for the last pick on Cambridge."
10 seconds remaining.
We'll take the Phoenix. Now this is a lot of AoE damage. Splinter Blast, Heartstopper, Death Pulse, potentially Avalanche, AA Ice Blast, and everything from the Phoenix. And a lot of sustain to go with that. They want to drag these fights out for as long as they can, try to immobilize some of the enemy heroes in the meantime and just get loads of this damage off. Phoenix Supernova on top of the Winter's Curse. If the Tiny can get an Avalanche toss in after that. Some potential for a very strong team fight. However, the counter initiation is there from the Dire. Whoever gets caught can still get disrupted by the Shadow Demon. Enemies can get crushed from Slardar. I can't move my camera, okay. Slardar DC's here. There's also the potential for later on in the game, decent sleight of fist damage from the Ember Spirit.
We've got.
Here we go, we're in. Radiant side all moving top, Dire side all moving bot. Quickly run through players and their heroes here. Peggy on the Slardar, Squire on the Shadow Demon, Juggernaut on the Lion, Itachi on the Ember Spirit, and Soul playing the Windrunner. On the top lane, all 5 heroes smoked up. Nerf Kitten on the Winter Wyvern, OS on the Tiny, Call Me Bob on the Ancient Apparition. There's Luffy on the Necro and Kingfisher playing the Phoenix. 3 heroes. This is a smoke from both sides. These tryhards. One team sat in the rush pit, the other team wrapping around the top, hoping to catch somebody off guard, maybe at the bottom of the hill. Not going to work for either teams. Now in all that time, Radiant didn't manage to get a ward out. AA still has 1 ward. I suppose he'll pass that over to the Phoenix as he heads back to the top lane. This is going to be an easy rune for what we can only assume is going to be both the mids, the Wind Ranger, and I guess the Necro. Yep.
Every coin helps.
Now this is going to be a hard lane for the Necrophos. How's his damage? 56 versus what on the Windrunner? 61. Maybe not so bad. A slightly better attack animation perhaps on the Necro. Takes the Death Pulse first. What's flying out here? Just a salve to the Windrunner. Anticipating some harass from the Necro. Now 2 dire wards placed on the bottom side of the map. 1 blocking the camp. 1 looking at the river. Now this is an aggressive trialing from both sides. We've got Tiny backed up by the Winter Wyvern and the AA. And the Ember Spirit alongside the Shadow Demon and the Lion now. This is going to be a difficult lane for the Phoenix. Going to be harassed pretty heavily here by the supports. He's probably going to try to Icarus dive down this way. Lion tries to intercept, but he's taking too much damage from the creeps. Already used the Impale. Does manage to get away, and they decide to rotate. Winter Wyvern is down here now. Phoenix uses the salve, gets back up to full, but they want to try and get the Winter Wyvern here. But a lot of damage going on to the Shadow Demon. Is there an Icarus dive? No, there isn't. No, Winter Wyvern, what are you doing? Walking back up that way. Phoenix now has a level 2. Fire Spirit is up. This is going to mean it's easier to get the harass on the Lion, but he uses the Impale and gets the kill. The salve through the disruption manages to heal out. Really great timing there. And that's an easy enough first blood. Goes to the Lion, he'll be able to pick up boots now, and this is going to be a tough lane for Kingfisher on the Phoenix. As we have a quick pause, we can check out the CS. Apparently one team lagging. See if I can fix my in-game audio again. Now you should be able to hear me here. In-game you should be able to hear me, but it'll sound really bad because it's being picked up by my webcam mic, and I still haven't been able to change that. So you should be able to hear me in-game now, but you'd be better off on the stream. I still don't know how to fix that. It's not working the way it should. And Necro is trying for the reconnect here. Meanwhile, Slardar pretty much completely being zoned out by these 2 heroes on the top lane, it looks like. 0 and 1 on the CS, whilst the Tiny is up at 9 and 6. They do lose the first blood on the bot lane, but the top lane is going very well so far. Only level 2, slightly behind in the levels, but Slardar only level 2 himself. Necro against the Windrunner. Windrunner taking advantage of the damage and the nukes here. Already 6 CS and 1 deny ahead, or 6 last hits and 1 deny ahead. Windrunner close to them, bottle money. Necro further away. Ember Spirit 8 and 3. And Phoenix only managing to get 1 CS. Not that important for the Phoenix at this stage. About to hit level 3 as well. Probably get the second point in the Fire Spirits. Already has the first value point in both of these spells. Now this lane ward for the Dire side yeah, this block here, this block camp, not going to do anything for the Dire, kind of a wasted ward. Phoenix not going to be point, I suspect. No, Winter Wyvern is moving back bot. Okay, Cambridge are ready. Let's check the Lancaster roll here. Should be ready to get back into the game. They want to try for the kill on the Slardar. Don't think they're going to be successful with that. Maybe Slardar asking for some assistance. The Ember Spirit left alone against the Phoenix will be a tough lane. It's possible that they could move just one hero over. Maybe move the Lion up top and keep the Shadow Demon down here. There is a haste rune top, probably a little bit early in the game. Either of these mid heroes to do anything with that. Hey, gone to pick that up. A lot of damage now going on the Wind Ranger. I don't know what she was doing so far forwards, and the AA comes in. Necro gets the last hit. Doesn't have a point in Sadis yet. I don't know what Wind Ranger was doing so far forwards. Maybe trying to stand on top of the hill to do some harass. Necro with a buffed level 2 death pulse, 175 damage on a 7-second cooldown at level 2. That's crazy. Necro just takes a mountain of damage. This looks like it's going to be the Slardar going down top. A nice crush, but showing touch on top of the Arctic Burn. A lot of damage coming out from the Winter Wyvern. That will be like 100 damage plus the 8% health per second. That's real damage from a support Winter Wyvern there, paired up with the AA. Now they do move the lion up top. Exactly as I suspected. But this probably isn't going to be enough. The defensive and defensive potential from the Wyvern. The lion is just going to kind of have to sit behind the Slardar here. Shadow Demon picks up a TP as well. But now Phoenix at level 4, 2 and 2, should be able to get a decent amount of damage down onto both of these heroes. There's one more spirit left, hits on the Ember. He does take quite a lot of damage, and now there's an invis on the AA. Wants to go for another kill on the Wind Ranger. Wind Ranger level 5, 131. He is still stood mid, but under the tower by now. Wind runs to try and get away from the cold feet. Just about gets there in time, and Impale will go out on the AA. Will take a power shot. Will dodge the Shadow Wave. Shackle on the AA doesn't completely latch. Defensive disruption, but this is just going to mean he'll die at the end of that. Death Pulse goes out, that's a death. Sadist is up now. Level 6 hit already on the Necrophos. 10 points from Sadist. From the kill doing work in the A, doesn't even end up going down. Turning into a fairly dominant laning phase from the Cambridge side now. Necrophos still behind in CS, but has managed to get 2 or 3 kills down in the lane, 2-0-0. Tiny farming significantly better than the Slardar. And Phoenix now somehow up to 21 CS, only 10 behind the Ember. Once the Phoenix wasn't against the tri-lane. That's a fast level 6, and this is before the Ember Spirit has it. Does have the 3 points in Flame Guard, so it will be difficult to get a kill out onto the Ember, but we'll be able to get a significant amount of harass. Lion gives up on top, moves back bot. If you are going to sack a hero, much better the Slardar than the Ember Spirit. Phoenix, though, goes down bot. Lion flies in, damage from the Impale. I think that was a Icarus dive interrupted with the Searing Chains there. Possibly the Sleight of Fist Searing Chains. Now the dive going out top, that's going to be a pretty easy kill on the Slardar. Does get the crush. Shadow Demon gets the excess damage. The Shadow Wave and now just stops on the spot. Is this a DC? I don't know. Don't know if the Shadow Demon's lagging right now. All the spells stacking upon the Tiny, but it doesn't matter. AA comes from behind. Tiny does end up going down to the tower, hit no Cold Embrace skilled. 2 and 1. Could have taken it there, but yeah, would have had the mana. Winter Wyvern level 4. Opts not to take the Cold Embrace and save the Tiny there. But still a trade massively favouring the Radiant in the top. AA gets impaled, a little bit more harassed from the Lion. Wants to help out the Wind Ranger. Two heroes sat on the top of the hill on the dire side mid lane. Level 6 hit by both the carries up here. Slardar throws the amplified damage onto the Tiny. He's got over 1,000 gold right now. Halfway to the Blink Dagger if he wants that. Also pretty often see the drum. pretty low on initiation on the Cambridge side, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Blink Dagger from the Tiny. If he can get in, get an avalanche
Radiant
down,
structures are fortified.
that gives time for the Phoenix and the Necro to get in, do their damage. Now a wraparound. No smoke pop for this, but weren't seen. Amplified damage up on the Tiny. Slardar though, not here to push the lane right now, picks up the Tranquil Boots. He's going to try to push. But the Winter Wyvern is here ready, now takes a cold
Dire's
embrace.
bottom tower is under attack.
Ember Spirit forced out of the lane. Supernova not even used. And Kingfisher on the Phoenix. Picks up a regen rune and manages to stick around. Already has the Tranquil Boots and the Urn. A lot of supports chasing around supports in this game. But all the cores on the Dire side being bothered just a little bit too much. Still great CS. 50 to 53 on both the Ember Spirit and the Windrunner. Letting them pretty much keep up with the kills. Tries to toss back the Slardar, ends up getting a creep. Not going to be enough. The Arctic Burn with the cold feet was there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
And the
attack.
Slardar regens up with the Tranquil Boots, that's no problem. Go and lead the level 2 Avalanche with the level 4 Toss. Misses most of the damage there. Now Lion TP's behind the towers, waiting and hiding, hoping to try and turn on a potential dive from these three heroes top. Necro picks up a haste now, already has the mechanism completed. Level 8, 2 points in the Heartstopper Aura. Don't usually see the Heartstopper Aura leveled up into particularly, much later with the buffs to the Death Pulse and the Sadist. But what this does mean is Necrophos can just sit at the top of the hill and the Wind Ranger can't really do anything, losing more health than she can regen back anytime soon. Needs to be trying to get a kill on the Necro here with some rotations from the supports, but they want to find a fight top lane, and here's the Tiny. He picks up the Blink Dagger, tosses the Shadow Demon back, but there's a good two-man impale. Shadow Demon disrupts himself, the Crush goes down. Shadow Demon manages to get the Soul Catcher out, but the AA, the Winter Wyvern, both already dead, and here is going to be the Tiny going down as well. Ember Spirit is moved in. This is 5 Dire heroes in the top lane. Wants to try for his Supernova, and this is going to be really good. That's the Wind Ranger killed by the Necro, out for 30 seconds now.
Dire's top tower is
Chasing
under
down the
attack.
Ember Spirit. He doesn't have a Spirit out anywhere, I don't think. He's going to be going down, I'm sure. Necrophos can't quite get in range yet. Doesn't have the mana for the mech. Triple kill for the Necro. Shadow Demon comes in and wants to finish it off. That's an ultra kill at 11 minutes in for a Necrophos. 2,000 gold in the pocket. He must be tempted to pick up a Blink now. That fight started out really well for Lancaster. It ends up being 1,100 gold going the way of the Necro and another 700
structures are
towards the
fortified.
Phoenix.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tower going to go down now as well. It's going to be a pretty big swing.
Dire's top
On the top,
tower
on the
is
bot lane,
fortified.
sorry. Ember Spirit picks up the Boots of Travel. But what did that do to help him in that top lane that a TP scroll wouldn't have? Now AA sat next to the
Radiant's middle
Windrunner.
tower is under attack.
Sentry down for the Radiant, but nothing for the Dire. Now the Radiant want to find someone in the jungle. The disruption hits. Soul Catcher going to go out on Kingfisher as well, but he's going to dodge that. The AA Ice Blast doesn't hit anyone.
Is under attack.
Now Kingfisher being chased back, doing a lot of damage to the Shadow Demon. The toss comes in and finishes that out. Windrunner does get the kill on the Phoenix. Now Necro charges up the hill, has the mech. Winter Wyvern cold embraces herself.
Radiant's
Tosses
bottom
back,
tower
blink
is
forward.
under attack.
Slardar, sprint activated, tries to get away. A nice two-man shackle to keep the Tiny away just for a moment, but that's going to be the end of that fight.
Radiant's
That was a
bottom
Phoenix
tower
for a
is under
Slardar and a
attack.
Shadow Demon. No big gold change here. The Radiant
Dire's
lead
middle
meaning
tower is under attack.
that just about evens out.
Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ice Blast going bot
Dire's
to keep
middle
the
tower is under attack.
Ember Spirit and the Creep Wave away, but TP comes out a little bit too early and Ember Spirit quickly remnants away. Boots of Travel back to the base. Left a remnant behind to come back. Don't know if he'll want to try for a kill on the Phoenix. Phoenix almost
Dire's
11,
middle
so
tower
at
is
this
under
point about
attack.
halfway through level 10 would be a good time to get a kill on the Phoenix before he becomes much tougher with that level 2 Supernova. Necro also picks the Boots of Travel. And Windrunner nearly dead to the Tiny combo here. Let's see if the Windrunner wants to turn around. Has no regen. The Ice Blast is going out, but Windrunner knows it's coming. Manages to dodge that. Flies way back to the fountain, but no one's there. No one caught for now. Necro still farming mid. Wants to take this tier 1 tower. Only one tier 1 for either team. One tier 1 combined gone down in the 15 minutes of this game. Both sides will really want to be able to push. A lot of magic thrown at the Flame Guard of
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ember Spirit, but that will all get absorbed up. The end does go through. Now Slardar, a long way from the Blink Dagger. Tiny has it ready though. 3 seconds till it's off cooldown. Where's the Fortify here? Has it already been used? Yeah, it has. Ice Blast hits on 2. That's a good start to the fight.
Dire's middle tower
Is Tiny
has
going to blink
fallen.
over? No, he's not. Shadow Demon won't be low enough to tick out. But good play from the AA. Almost has the hand of Midas now. That's going to be... hopefully get him to the Aghanim Scepter in the level 2 and 3 Ice Blast much faster. 3 Radiant Heroes rotating bot. They want the final tier 1. Nice methodical
Radiant's
play
top
here.
tower
Another
is under attack.
1700 gold in the pocket of the Necro. Dire Ember Spirit still farming well, but all this
Dire's bottom tower is
net
under
worth
attack.
pretty much wasted.
Radiant's
2,000 in the
middle
Boots of Travel.
tower is under attack.
Slardar wants to move down. Still nowhere near the Blink Dagger. I would expect him to go into the jungle or find a lane to farm up. Now, Tiny jumps forward. Avalanche toss on the Shadow Demon, dies straight away. Winter's Curse goes out on the Slardar. Kingfisher is hexed up, but he's going to get unhexed. Throws out the Veil. Supernova goes out. Ember Spirit is out of the game for 75 seconds, and that is just about... wants to get the kill on the Necro here. Gets the crazy shackle. Tiny blinks back forwards, but that's a 4 for nothing for the Radiants. Great initial catch by the Tiny. Burst down the Shadow Demon before he can get anything done. $2,500 gold up on the Necro, and AA finishes the Midas. Slardar seriously struggling, needs to find somewhere to farm up the Blink Dagger. Kingfisher, great play in the last fight. Not needing the Midas to get his levels here. Already level 11 at 17 minutes. That's great performance on the Phoenix. Goes for the Veil instead for the extra damage, and there is a lot of magic damage to be amplified here. As well as extra from all the other heroes. The Splinter Blast, everything from the Necrophos, the Ice Blast, and the Avalanche Toss. So much magic damage here. And a few heroes that don't really want to be building BKB. And Ember Spirit, you never really want to build the BKB Wind Ranger, you can get it later, but you'll usually want a couple of damage items first. Maybe the Blink Dagger and the Aghanim Scepter before you even think about going for something like a BKB. Almost the Aghanim Scepter completed on the Windrunner now. But there's a smoke. 4 move towards the mid lane with the the Phoenix also coming from bot. Now that's an easy catch on the Wind Ranger. Won't be enough damage to get her killed within the Reaper's side, but she dies at the end of it anyway. Tiny gets the Avalanche Toss. Icarus dive forward, wants to get some harass out. This is going to be a lot of damage going down to the Shadow Demon. The Veil goes out. He's going to have to disrupt himself to survive. No, not quite.
Dire's middle tower is under
But pushes him back. Slardar and Ember just want to get the bottom tier tower down. Most of the Battle Fury up. Just the Claymore needed by the Ember. But this, I don't think this is even going to be the tier 1 going down. I wouldn't be surprised if the Radiant come back to defend. No, they're not going to bother yet. They're going to throw down the Ice Blast. The Fortify is up, hoping the Ice Blast will keep him away, but they all want to take this tower first. Slardar gets the last hit. That's most of his way towards a Blink Dagger now, as Necro picks up his own. But here we are. High ground is going. The finger goes out onto the Tiny, but it's not going to be enough yet. The Windrunner power shot comes through and the focus fire is on the egg. The egg is going to be going down too. That dive was way too ambitious. 2 down and all they get is a Shadow Demon and a tiny bit of damage on the tier 3. Nerf getting part way to picking up a blink there. We can see the net worth slowly climbing towards the Radiant. Trying to get some lead there, but that was going way too hard by both of those heroes. But still 2,000 gold up on the Phoenix. Blink Dagger Drums Treads completed on the Tiny. Still in a pretty good position here. I don't think Ember Spirit was there to be part of those fights, so didn't get any of the bounties. 500 and 450. Both going to the Wind Ranger though, that'll be the axe completed. Yep, there we go. Lion TP's bot, they want to try and get another fight out here. Necro kind of low mana right now, but will regen with the Sadist. They can get the catch. Windrunner looking for a shackle, but doesn't quite know where the rest of the Radiant heroes are. 3 mid right now. Moving towards bot. Tiny picks up the point booster. He's going to go for the Ags next. Although he was in a tri lane for some of the time, this was Tiny on the off lane. Farmed very well for it. 7.5k on the net worth. The ultra kill on the Necro. Really got the ball rolling. See what the Wind Ranger wants to go for next. It could be a Blink Dagger or maybe wants to get some extra damage out. It could be a Maelstrom or a Crystallis. I'd quite like to see the Maelstrom. I don't usually like to see that on the Wind Ranger. But with the amount of potential damage from the procs on the Maelstrom, bouncing between all these heroes, and the extra attack speed outside of Focus Fire, if that's ever needed to deal with the Phoenix. The Veil thrown out on mid, but no spells will hit. Slardar happy to sprint away. 4 heroes top, they pop another smoke. This is probably going to be the last smoke for a little while. Winter Ivan wraps around, places the ward. But Tiny comes out of the smoke. I don't know if they saw that he was smoked in the first place. Now 3 of them sat under a dire ward here, but I don't think they'll know about this. Are playing very defensively though. All 5 heroes. 5v5 up on the top lane as the Lonely Hastrian sits bot. Let's see which side gets the initiation here. Lion not in a good position right now, trying to get the D ward. Phoenix Icarus dives over, going to walk right back into the Ice Blast. Lion manages to get the finger out first on the Necro, but it's not going to mean anything. The mech is popped, taking no damage at all, but Necrophos moves up to the high ground and dies straight away. 740 gold going to the Ember Spirit. Already finished the Battle Fury. He's going to be well on his way to the next item. Winter Wyvern kind of low. Ember Spirit wants to come in and do some damage. Gets a Searing Chains out on the Tiny, but the rest of the team have been forced to walk back. Slardar wants to come back out now. He has the Blink Dagger. Windrunner, 2,000 gold in pocket. They're going to take this tier 2 and back out. Slardar wants to make a catch. He does get another Searing Chains out on the Tiny. Where is the sprint? Where is the sprint? You need to sprint and blink. Doesn't want to get countered. The Supernova's still up, as is the Winter's Curse. Tiny moves mid, farms even more. 3/4 of the way to this Aghanim Scepter. What's this being brought out? It's a 4-staff finished for the Winter Wyvern. Now this overconfidence from the Radiant might be opening up some actual opportunities now. Or the Dire. Shadow Demon feeling very poor. Had to buy the Bracer, has the Mango in pocket for a little bit of regen. Lion has 1,000 gold now. But only level 7. Going to be a long time until the level 2 finger. That looks like it's going to be the big problem here. Low levels on the supports. It's something we've been seeing quite a lot. Level 7 at 25 minutes in. There's being support and there's this now. Most of an Aghanim Scepter now for the Necrophos, approaching 11k net worth. The early Boots of Travel not punishing here. Ember wants to get a bit of damage out, but with only the Battle Fury and now an Ogre Club. Obviously aware of all the magic damage, but I don't know if buying a BKB here is going to be the way to deal with that. Don't usually see an S and Y up on the Ember. 4 Radiant Heroes bot. So Tiny drops a Remnant. Boots of Travel to the top lane. Wants to do some damage to this tier 1.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
They get the 45, but this is at best going to be a tier 2 for a tier 1. Not going to be the best trade. These 3 heroes are not able to contest. Oh, but Windrunner catches the AA mid. The Ice Blast was thrown out. Couldn't return it to the Windrunner. Now Tiny TP's down here after taking that tier 2. Will be able to defend, keeps the Windrunner away, but now she's moving back through. Past the Dire Secret Shop. Wants to get a Shackle out on the Phoenix. She does have the Blink Dagger now. Throws it, doesn't latch. Ember Spirit trying to get some extra damage out, but the Ogre Club not going to do it. Slardar, interesting to see what he goes for next. No signs of any bigger items yet. I suppose the offlane Slardar, all you need is the levels. Has the level 2 amplified damage now. The Crush and the Sprint maxed out. Only 500 gold left to get the Aghanim Scepter on the Necrophos. Now this really is a game changer. This means that for the whole rest of the game, Dire are going to have to be so careful. If any of the cores get taken out by that, that could mean a lane of racks right there. Extra 30 seconds and no buyback. So punishing. Another smoke popped by the Radiant. They're going to use this to get into Roshan. This won't be so fast. And here's a wraparound, the Blink and the Crush onto Call Me Bob on the AA. Will they be able to kill him fast enough? The finger is used and now they want to get the disengage. The Avalanche catches the Slardar. Doesn't get the toss yet, but the Winter's Curse goes out and so does the Reaper's Scythe. Ember Spirit slices through them all but doesn't really get any damage down. Tiny finishes off the Lion and now this is going to be the Shadow Demon dying as well. Disrupts himself but it's not going to make any difference. Necro gets the last hit with the Death Pulse there. 3 for 1. Winter's Curse was used, but that was pretty much it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now we'll be able to go and slowly finish off Roshan. This could have been a better option for the Dire if they'd have found a way to get some space around the bottom of the map. The focus fire and the amplified damage could have meant a fast enough Roshan. Still so slow here. Roshan only just reaching half health. But not going to be able to contest. Windrunner wants to get, does pick up the crystals, wants to get up this hill, do some damage to the tier 1. So at least they're trading something. Focus fires it down nice and quickly. This is the slowest Roshan I've seen in a long time. 28 minutes in with this much farm, you'd hope for it to be faster, but just not a good team for dealing with it. Not even a medallion on any of the supports. But it's taken. Tiny picks it up. He has the Ags and the Blink Dagger and the Drum. Wind Ranger, kind of the sole hope here of the Dire side. Prepared to do a lot of damage if they can get the catch. But they don't have the kind of control that they really need. They do have the Impale, the Shackle, but so much harder to land than a good Winter's Curse. Or even an Avalanche. Oh, Shadow Demon not responding fast enough there. Going to be quickly popped down by the Tiny. Should have seen that coming. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Maybe try. Didn't even have any wards, so wasn't trying to ward.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
1 and 9 on the Shadow Demon, not being an easy game for him.
Radiant's top tower is under
Lion doing
attack.
somewhat better, only on 3 and 4, but Tiny with the Aegis now picks up a Hyperstone. Doesn't need buyback for any reason. Walks up to the high ground and starts pounding on this tower. Big Ice Blast coming out, but not going to hit anything. The Fortify is up, the Shadow Demon is going to be back.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
The Ember Spirit picks up the BKB, but this just means he doesn't do any damage.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
He's going to be able to live for a while through these fights, but what's he actually going to do? Now the finger goes out onto the Tiny, but that doesn't matter. The Winter's Curse out on the Wind Ranger. That's not actually going to do any damage though, only the Tiny hitting. Sorry, not the Tiny, the Lion. Now Tiny back up, trying to hit the racks. Impale, great Shackle shot, and now he's going to have the Focus Fire. Oh, but the Cold Embrace saves really well. Not going to have a Focus Fire to kill the Egg, and the Supernova does pop. Slardar and Windrunner die for that. It was so close to being a great fight, but the Winter Wyvern saves Tiny in the nick of time. They take the melee racks and they want to back out. Melee racks and 2 buybacks. They really want to chase right now. They want to make something of this. Ember Spirit wants to get a chains on somebody to cancel. Wants to put a power shot up the hill here. Oh no, this could be a dieback for the Wind Ranger. No, Tiny wants to get the hell out of there. 4 staff away. Lion following. Wants to get up the hill right now. Finds the Tiny. This could be a kill right now, but it could be the Slardar going down again. Will Slardar get away? 1 hit from the AA will mean the kill here. Oh, the Slardar will die anyway. Now Windrunner gets the catch on the AA once again. That's going to be a quick kill. Ember Spirit up at the top. Gonna get the return onto the Windrunner here, it looks like. Yes, it will. That's a dieback for the Wind Ranger after all that. And the Slardar too. The double dieback in this really long fight, which started with Tiny about 3 minutes ago going high ground. Now the pincer movement. Necro is here with an Invis rune. That's going to be Ember Spirit out of the game for 95 seconds. Windrunner out for 70, and if they move fast enough, this could easily be another lane of racks. Or the Radiant. No Tiny up for another 15. Shiva's God and the Fire Spirits both doing a lot of work stopping the heroes from being able to pop the egg at the top of this hill. That is a level 3 Supernova now. And already back up length of that fight. Windrunner and Ember unable to come back into the game right now. Lion wants to chase the Veil and the Ice Blast combo. That's more than half of Lion's health. He's going to be down straight away. Shiva's Guard hits 2. And who else died during that? It was also the Shadow Demon. Now they're going to start doing some tier 5 damage. No, they move over to the bot lane. Tiny does decide he wants to go for the tier 4s. And let's see if anyone's going to be up in time to do anything about this. They won't. They do have another Necro ult. A 70-second cooldown, so fast. Windrunner is not going to be able to do anything about this. Tries for the hopeful Shackle there. Don't know who just focus fired. But Soul on the Windrunner does call the GG. Instantly disconnect, it looks like.
Radiant is under attack.
Ends up being a 23 or 24k net worth lead. Now the start of the game, I think Lancaster did get the first blow down. The laning phase looked pretty good for them. Right at the start they were CSing really well. Windrunner beating the Necro. Slardar being shut down by Ember Spirit just with the tri-lane. Still doing very well. But that BKB, I don't know if that even was used by the Ember Spirit. A crit or a Yasha turning into a Manta could have been such a better item there. And just not the most efficient builds. Windrunner opted to go for the Crystallis, but with and almost got a great kill on the Tiny, but Winter Wyvern was ready with a Cold Embrace, saving the Tiny, and that just led to that long sequence of events over about 5 minutes, which just meant that it went from being close to equal to pretty much unsalvageable from the Dire. The Aghanim Scepter on the Necro, putting the nail in the coffin there. Anyway, we're going to get straight back into the next game. I'll be back in just a moment.